The coastal resort city of Sanya, located at the southern tip of Hainan Island, faced its toughest challenge of the year as Typhoon Kajiki, known in China as Jianyu, swept dangerously past its shores. Although the storm didn't make a direct landfall, its outer circulation lashed the city with winds peaking at level 14 on the Beaufort scale, reaching up to 45 meters per second. The winds were so strong they shook high-rise buildings, knocked down trees, caused widespread power outages, and suddenly disrupted daily life. For residents living in tall apartment towers, that night was tense and unsettling. Many described the feeling as if their buildings were swaying under the pressure of the storm. Windows rattled, balcony doors bent under gusts, and rain pounded the glass so hard that some families taped up their windows to keep them from shattering. Experts reassured residents that the swaying was within the safety limits of modern building standards, but the psychological pressure was undeniable. These scenes highlighted the sheer force of Typhoon Kajiki and the dangers faced both on land and at sea. On the ground, the storm turned Sanya's normally lively streets into wreckage. Rows of trees, including the iconic coconut palms along the riverside, were uprooted. Some trees blocked major roads, crushed parked vehicles, and cut off emergency routes. Streetlights flickered before going dark in several neighborhoods. While huge billboards were torn apart, their debris scattering across intersections, sanitation and rescue crews worked through the night in hazardous conditions to clear main roads, allowing ambulances and repair trucks to get through. Infrastructure disruptions spread widely. Power lines snapped across districts, plunging thousands of households into darkness. The local power authority dispatched repair teams right after the storm's peak, but fierce winds slowed restoration efforts. By dawn, some areas had partial electricity, while others remained cut off. Telecommunications were also disrupted, though backup systems kept emergency services online. The government's response was swift and thorough. Hainan provincial authorities had already issued a Level 1 emergency response before the storm arrived. More than 20,000 residents, from coastal villages, fishing communities, and low-lying neighborhoods, were evacuated to schools, gymnasiums, and other shelters. Sanya Phoenix International Airport suspended all flights starting Sunday morning, leaving thousands of passengers stranded. Trains to and from Hainan were canceled, and inner-city buses, as well as long-distance coaches, were halted for safety reasons. Sections of the highway were closed due to flooding and dangerous debris. The storm also brought torrential rain, compounding the hardship. Weather stations recorded more than 250 millimeters of rainfall within 24 hours in parts of Sanya, with the heaviest downpours coming overnight. Water quickly filled underpasses and low-lying neighborhoods, leading to localized flooding. The skies remained gray with occasional heavy showers, but winds had weakened. Cleanup operations were underway, with crews cutting and removing fallen trees from the roads. Power workers labored non-stop to restore electricity to the remaining affected districts, while health officials reminded residents to stay alert for waterborne diseases after the flooding. City workers deployed pumps to drain rising water levels and stacked sandbags in front of flood-prone buildings and shops. The Water Resources Bureau intensified inspections of levees and drainage channels, worried that prolonged rains could trigger flash floods or urban waterlogging. Despite the difficulties, the city maintained overall order. According to the China Meteorological Administration, Typhoon Kajiki moved onward and slammed into central Vietnam. However, southern Hainan province was expected to face strong winds and heavy rains for several more days from the storm's remnants. Authorities urged residents not to let their guard down, warning that secondary disasters, such as flash floods, landslides, and structural damage, could still pose serious risks.